Man, you'd think after like 6 years of using cameras regularly, I would know how to have it level. Hey guys, it's me, cyoubx. This is probably going to be the last video that I film on this camera. I know last video in Real or Fake I was talking about how I was using a microphone that I've been using for years, and that was going to be the last video that I filmed using that microphone. I'm basically upgrading my gear. I didn't actually tell you this, but I didn't make a video for a while because I didn't even have editing software, so I had to get a new version of that from the school. So I need a new editing software, and then I got a new microphone, and now I'm going to be upgrading my camera. This camera's done really well for me. I've used this camera for a really long time. I want to say at least 5 or 6 years, if not longer. Basically when the T3 first came out, which is what this camera is. And it's about time I upgraded. There's a lot of things that I want to do in future projects and in just current cubing videos that I've struggled with in the past that I can now do more easily if I have a newer camera. The camera was actually supposed to come today, but I was at work when they tried to deliver and they didn't want to leave it at the door, so they sent it to the post office. They said that I could pick it up after 7 a.m. tomorrow, so right now it is 10 p.m. I just got home from work. And I'm about to get into bed because I'm going to try to wake up early tomorrow, head to the post office, pick up the new camera. I might play around with it a little bit before I head into work, but if not, then for sure I will play with it after work tomorrow. But that new camera will hopefully be awesome. It's going to have some autofocus things that I can do, which means that I can do some cool magic tricks when I'm shooting videos as well. Also, my friend's going to be helping me out with some videos from now on. We've already filmed a little bit using this camera, which was a little bit difficult for him because one, he doesn't have video experience, and two, this camera is really difficult to film on the go. But some of that footage was pretty interesting. I might edit some of it into sort of this bigger vlog type video, but without giving too much away, this new style of video I think will be really, really interesting. It's going to be cubing focused, but it's also going to really be a glimpse on how I live my life. But with that being said, I am going to go to sleep, and I'm going to pick up the camera tomorrow, and then we'll go from there. Good night. It is currently 6:47. I'm going to get ready, go to the post office, and pick up my new camera. Alright, I slept in a little bit, but it is now 7:11 and I think my Uber is here, so I'm gonna go pick up my camera. Alright, I might be the biggest idiot ever. I actually got to the post office, but I realized that it doesn't open until 9 a.m. I checked the postcard, it looked like it said 7 a.m., which is when the post office opens, but you can't pick anything up until 9 a.m. So I think I'm just gonna go back and then I'll just check back later, maybe sometime during work, or I don't know, I'll figure something out, but definitely a video. I guess I'm just effectively at lab a lot earlier now. I think I'll just go back to the post office around 9:30, and then go home for a bit and then come back to work. So I think that's the plan. Alright, I just got back from the post office, round 2. This is hopefully the new camera. We're going to unbox it right now really quickly and just take a first look. So we have the cable for the charger itself, a strap which I won't be using. As you can see, it's for the ADD. We have one massive battery, and we have the camera body itself. It feels quite hefty. It's actually lighter than I expected, but it's a larger size than what I'm used to. But I'm pretty excited to see how this camera works in terms of shooting videos. So this is probably going to be my new main camera that I use for shooting videos, but I will still be using my old camera just for photography. So I'll probably just divvy up the uses that way. I already sort of looked up the tutorials on how to use this, so I don't think it'll be too hard to get it up and running. But I'm just curious to see what the video quality is like, so let's do that now. Hey, what's up guys? I'm not even gonna set up a tripod or anything for this. This camera has been a pain in the butt so far. Basically, the battery came completely drained because it's probably been sitting on a shelf for a really long time. And I put in the charger, waited for a couple hours. It's only supposed to take 2.5 hours at most to charge. I figured after 2 hours it might at least have 50% charge. It had absolutely zero. I looked online, apparently this is a common problem with this set of batteries for the ADD and then whatever the actual battery model is. Apparently the fix is to somehow reset the battery memory, and what that means is you have to sort of go through these different charge cycles to really jumpstart the actual charging, and apparently it takes 8 to 9 times. I don't really know what that means, but I figured out a couple ways to do it. So I actually went on to Amazon and I ordered 2 batteries with same-day shipping. So I got those tonight, and they're just generic batteries, but they came with about 50% power. I plugged it in, it worked, but I still wanted to figure out why the Canon battery didn't work, especially with the charger, because I tried replugging all of those things to no avail. I just put the regular normal Canon branded battery into the charger that came with the batteries that I bought third party, and it finished charging in, I don't know, like an hour, something like that. My guess is that today when I left to go back to work, I had left the Canon battery in the charger hoping that something would happen. The light was blinking and it seemed like it was not charging, but I just pushed on the battery a little bit and it started flickering, so it's probably just a bad connection on the actual charger and not the battery itself. So I think the battery did eventually finish charging over something like 10 or 12 hours, but that's pretty unreasonable. I am thinking about contacting the seller and telling them about it, but at the same time, I don't really care because I got this camera for pretty cheap compared to retail price, and I now have another charger that can charge 2 batteries at once, so I'm not really complaining about it. It was just sort of a hassle during the day, but all in all, doesn't really matter. Camera now works. I have a fully charged battery in here, and I'm excited to see what kind of video quality this camera can give. So what better way than to just jump right into it. Alright, so this is the ADD filming on just a stock kit lens. This happens to be the widest angle that I currently own, so in the space I'm in right now, I think this actually looks pretty good. So some nice features about this camera versus the old camera that I have, the T3i. Mainly is the autofocus and low light performance, both of which I think are really important for the things that I want to do, both in terms of YouTube but also just as a hobbyist photographer. There are a lot of things that the T3i just wasn't able to do as well as I'd like, even with Magic Lantern installed. So with that out of the way, this is my new camera that I will be filming everything with. I have a ton of new projects coming that I think are going to be really unique to the cubing community, so I'm super excited about those. Hopefully you guys will enjoy them. I already have a few videos planned out, and some of them are already filmed, I just have to edit them. If you're interested in following me more closely, you can follow my Instagram. I post there fairly regularly, and a lot of it is not cubing related, so if you're just interested in my life or things of that nature, then I would highly suggest that. Other than that, if you guys have any questions about the equipment I use or questions about this camera, which I'm going to sort of learn how to use, although I think it's pretty similar to the T3i, you can leave them in the comments below. And yeah, until next time, toodles.